This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo. Brought to you by Advanced Rehab, Urgent Med 1, Boyd's Transmissions, Golf Cart Wholesale, Alan David Tucker, and by Marshside Grill. And now here's your host, Glynn Academy Insider, Drayton Hogarth.
Welcome to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. This is Drayton Hogarth on location at Marshside Grill, where we'll be each and every week on Sunday nights at 6:30 for the entire season. This segment of the Rocky Hidalgo Show is sponsored by Marshside Grill, Advanced Rehab, Urgent Med 1, Boyd's Transmissions, Golf Cart Wholesale, Alan David Tucker, and by ASP Pools. And now joining us, the head coach of the Glynn Academy Red Bears, Rocky Hidalgo.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome, Coach. We've got a great turnout here tonight at Marshside, coming out to check out the first round winners of from the state playoffs. Congratulations on the win Friday night, 28-22 over the Jones County Greyhounds. Speak to us about your thoughts from the game.
It was a great night. A lot of people in the stadium. It was good to see all the energy there and everybody come out and support the kids. Jones County had a heck of a football team. They really did. I knew that going in, and they lived up to their billing. I mean, I don't really want to face them again. They've got 4 really good skilled players. Their quarterback was really impressive. Generally, when you hit a kid, hit him that many times on Friday night, they don't hang in the pocket and continue to throw passes, and he did. He was really impressive. And their kids played incredibly hard. I think their defensive tackle, 54, he was as good a player as I've ever coached against, is disruptive. So it was a good night. If you're a high school football fan, it was exciting to kind of see all the people there, and all in all, I'm glad to kind of survive and advance.
Right. The ending was quite dramatic, by the way. Did you have your Fred Sanford coming to see Elizabeth moment on the sidelines after the fumble?
It was interesting because you're not supposed to be able to slap the ball.
Right.
And that should be an all-sides penalty on the defense. And he did it, and I told the official, I was like, look, they're going to try to slap the ball. He's trying to slap the ball. And when it happened, we fumbled the ball. I was telling him he slapped the ball. He's like, Coach, I got it. He ran out there, and then they gave him the ball first down. It's like, what? You said you had it. He goes, well, Coach, the official, the white hat said that he didn't hit the ball. And I was like, it just is one of those things. And then they did it. We got the ball back, and they did it again. Essentially the same thing. So, the only thing I can say in 20 years of high school football, I've never seen a kid be able to be quick enough to do that.
Right.
And that kid was. He was, he's a handful to deal with. I do not want to see him again. I'm glad. I think he's graduating. He had 23 sacks last year in high school. I'm telling you, he's hard to deal with.
It seemed like going into the game that kind of showed how there's 2 different ways to play football. You've got Jones through the air and you guys just pounding it on the ground. Is that kind of what obviously your thoughts were going into the game, was having to prepare for that spread passing game?
Well, we knew they were going to throw the ball a bunch. I didn't, the one thing I think that went off script in the game was their long run. I didn't think they'd have a lot of success running the football. I knew their back was a really good player. But for the most part all night long, we did a good job against the run. I knew they were going to try to sling it around because it was no secret. We were going to press up and play man, and they've got great skill players on the perimeter. And so, it is what it was in terms of that. For us, a lot of what they do defensively dictates the plays that we run. And, 54 was such a kind of a pain in the behind in pass protection. We were worried about, doing some of the drop back stuff and getting DJ in the pocket because of that. We didn't want to create a lot of negative plays, and they were good at negative plays. So, our goal in the game was to make sure we're trying to get positive yards, keep moving the chains forward, not shoot ourselves in the foot. And when we didn't have penalties, we moved the ball and scored effectively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned your run defense, and they were really solid all night, except for that one, a 65-yard run by Chandler Ramage. So you felt like you guys contained that running back pretty well?
Yeah, for the most part. When you play man coverage in the perimeter on the back end, if a guy like that with his foot speed, if he gets loose, it's going to be a big play because everybody's got their back turned in coverage. but it was felt like something we needed to do. We needed to take the easy throws away because they were so good at it. Even still with pressed up play man, they completed a lot of short passes. But our kids did a great job of challenging them on everything they did, every throw. And all in all, I'm proud of our kids. They went out and played their tails off and beat a really good football team.
Right. This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Despite the offensive performance by Jones, like you guys had a very good game overall with the pressure that you brought. It was kind of the epitome of bend but don't break defense, especially early on, just bowing your nets up in the red zone. How did you guys? What was the game plan kind of going into that? Was that kind of the game plan in other words?
I told the kids that we're gonna walk up and we're gonna play tight man coverage on them. And we're gonna be aggressive and challenge everything, and that some things were gonna happen. We were gonna try to hit the quarterback. So at some point in time, we're gonna get a roughing the passer call because we want to be in the quarterback's lap. We were going to get holding calls and pass interference calls on the perimeter because we wanted to challenge and be aggressive out there. And they were going to catch the ball and make some big plays. Mm-hmm. And the key was, one, we couldn't get frustrated if we got called for penalties because, we've got to be aggressive in everything that we do against guys like that. The other thing is we have to tackle well. We can't let their big plays become touchdowns. And I think we did a nice job of that. We only missed a couple of tackles. I think we won on the crossing route. We had them stopped, ended up getting a first down on it. We missed the tackle twice, but for the most part, our kids tackled well in space. And the other thing we tell our kids is they're going to move the ball. You're not going to take somebody who runs that offense and pitches around with those type of athletes and completely shut them down. You're just not. And our kids, I think what they did is they really stayed centered all night long. They didn't get too emotional about it. We got penalties. They just went up. They did the same thing again. They were aggressive, and that's what we wanted them to be. We didn't want them to become passive because some yellow hankies were coming out. And I think our kids were very mature about it, and they played a really nice game on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I agree. Your secondary is probably still trying to cover the slant in their sleep, I would imagine. What style defense were you guys? You mentioned kind of press defense that you were using. Was that the main focus you said on stopping that pass play?
Well, yeah, they throw a lot of short routes, and honestly, we got a little soft in our man coverage in the second half, and they were able to throw the snag. I think we got hit on a couple of big plays or a couple of balls over the top. We got a little self-conscious because of it, and we gave them that what they call that snag and the double snag route in there. But we did a couple things early in the game that caused them some sacks. They like to throw that into the boundary, and we showed blitz and dropped the guy on the route. We got a couple sacks on it. So it was kind of a chess match the whole way around. As it is, I think that their kids practice that offense every day. They've been doing that every day since June. And for us in 3 days to get good at defending it, you don't have a lot of options. And if you line up and play zone, they're going to pick you apart because they're going to be better at their offense than you are at playing zone coverage and playing those routes. So I don't even try. We just play man and try to take all the easy stuff away and challenge them on.
Yeah, better to give up the 5-yard slant like that than give up a slant and go or something and let them break free on you.
Well, the thing is we want to take all the easy throws away. We want everything to be tight, and that's what we did. Everything was tight, and I'll give them credit. They threw and caught the ball in tight traffic, and they our kids tackled well, and that's kind of the game. That's what they got to do. I mean, if we miss a couple of tackles in that game, we're sitting around here talking about what a great season we had.
Right.
And likewise, I mean, we make a couple more tackles in the game, we blow them out. So it's a very tight game. Our kids did a great job, and they went out and won the game and did what they were supposed to do.
Yep. More to come on the Rocky Hidalgo Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Right now, these words from our sponsors.
Marshside Grill is your home for the best burgers, spuds, and seafood around. Come enjoy the view out by the water while taking in an ice-cold beverage. Marshside Grill is your home for the Glynn Academy Red Terror Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo and a proud sponsor of Glynn Academy and local high school athletics. So stop in any day or night of the week for the best view and atmosphere here in the Golden Isles. And also, check us out on Facebook. Go Terrors! That back won't stop aching or that knee won't stop throbbing? Your answer is Advanced Rehabilitation and their staff of professionals. Locations in Brunswick and on St. Simons for your convenience. Go to the place that is trusted by student athletes all over the Golden Isles as well as professional athletes. Advanced Rehabilitation specializes in neuro and orthopedics and will have you back in the game in no time. Find a clinic near you, physicaltherapygeorgia.com. Tired of waiting hours to get in and out of the ER or can't get in to see your doctor? The wait is over. Urgent Med 1 is a fully functioning urgent care clinic with highly trained professionals, on-site x-ray and labs that will get you in, out, and on with life. Open weekdays 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and weekends 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. or sign in online with ZipPass. Located off exit 36B on Highway 341, look for that MASH Jeep with the big red cross out front, ERGENT Med 1. Drive a few minutes and save a few hours.
Welcome back to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. This is Drake Hogarth on location at Marshside Grill. This segment brought to you by Marshside Grill, Urgent Med 1, Advanced Rehab, and Golf Cart Wholesale. Coach, you mentioned hitting the quarterback for Honeycutt was his name all night. How did your defense accomplish that? Was it just straight individual performance, or were there stunts up front, or how did you guys do that?
They were vertical setting in their pass protection, which means they set deep off the line of scrimmage and try to sort out what the defense is trying to do. And one of the weaknesses of that is really a straight push right up the midline. Our goal was to knock him off the midline and get him to step left and right. So that's really what we did. We brought a lot of pressure where we isolated the nose guard one-on-one with the center and occupied the guards. And so we brought pressure right up the middle. So we brought him, and sometimes we looped a guy into that space. Dev and Dex had some big hits and doing those things. So a lot of it was just, it was great effort on the part of our kids, don't get me wrong, but, we specifically designed some rush games and some blitzes to take advantage of what they were doing from a protection standpoint to really drive in there and press up the midline. And that's really what I like to do against, those basketball on grass teams. I want to push them up the midline, make the quarterback get off his spot, and that affects his throw. They're all throwing to space. And if you don't make them step left or right, they're just throwing on air because their kids know where they're going. They're throwing to the spot, and they're just running to the ball. So our goal is to really get in his face so he can't step up on his spot, move him off his spot, and it screws the whole play up.
Right. It seemed to me that this is one of the better matchups in the first round in 5A. Could definitely see both Glynn and Jones being two of the better teams. Do you agree with that? Obviously Glynn, but Jones as well.
I think Jones is a really good football team. Yeah. I do. I do think Jones can play and beat anybody in the state. And I think that you look and they beat Houston County. Houston County is as good as anybody in the state, and they played with Northside, and they had a great run last year. Jones is a really good football team. And that's a big win for us in our own place, and it's exciting to go and see our kids go and do that at
home. On the play that we thought ended the game on the hook and lateral, how do you coach your defense to look for a trick play like that? I know it was a 4th and 32, but still to be able to stop it.
Those are one of those things that you got to run and play until the whistle blows. Those things do not work very often. You see them on TV when they work. They're everywhere when they work. Obviously, Arkansas a couple of weeks ago, but that's one of those things that just doesn't work very often. But you just got to teach your kids to stay in it. There's no way to practice it. You can't get out there and practice. Hey, okay, everybody just run around and throw the ball around and let's make a scrum. There's no really way to practice it. You just got to talk to your kids about, hey, this is something they're going to throw the ball deep in the end zone, or they're going to try to lateral around. You got to keep working and keep running the football.
Mm-hmm. All right. Tell us a little bit about some of the standout performances by your defense. Like I said, there were kids making plays all night long. So tell us a little bit about some of them.
Well, I think all the guys in the secondary played really well. I think Kayshawn Walthour really came downhill and tackled people very physically. Some of the times he hit some of our guys. I was really worried he knocked Preston. He missed the kid and hit Preston. I thought Preston his head was knocked off. But he was very physical Friday night. Trey Singleton had a great game at nose guard. Devin Roberson Dexter had really good games. You could go on and on about it. I think defensively our kids played great. Mm-hmm. I do. And I could say the same thing for our offensive side. Kyle Larson, who had a bad ankle sprain early in the game, he just got out there and limped around on one of those big hooves of his and just got out there and played. He was in pain. But, that's what it takes to win a state championship and go and compete and make big playoff runs. Everybody's banged up this time of year. Everybody's got boo-boos.
Right.
And it is what it is. And, there's not a team out there that their players aren't banged up. And you just got to go fight through and, again, survive the next week. So that's why we got to, cut back on them a little bit at practice, get them healthy, and get them to the dance.
Right. You're listening to the Rocky Hidalgo Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Talking about your offense, Garrison Hurd and Kendall Cross were both able to be kind of your punch up the middle. And did it seem like it forced Jones to try to bottle up that middle and allow DJ some opportunities outside on the edge?
Well, I think what it does is they really had to screw down there, and they have an incredibly quick defense. So they've got tremendous recovery speed. So even when they're wrong, they fix it. I think Garrison and Kendall ran really hard, and that was the best I think Garrison's run since he's come back from his injury. He really crammed it in there, and the stats may not show that. Somebody said, well, he rushed for 65 yards or whatever it was, but they were 65 hard yards, and those yards, they've got 8 guys down there crammed in the box, and those are taking eyes off DJ. Every time we do that, it's taking eyes off DJ, and we move the ball very well offensively. I think. We had too many times where they stemmed defensively and we kind of jumped and flinched. I think that happened 4 times to set us back in a hole and, killed a couple of opportunities for us to move the football. We've got to stop those things. But all in all, our backs ran hard, and I look forward to get Jeremiah back and hopefully we'll be nice and healthy when we go up to Dalton this week.
Right, and the 2 fumbles towards the end of the game aside, I felt like it was kind of a testament to the type of competitor that DJ Dallas is to not hang his head about that. And when you needed him out on defense, he made plays when he was out there on defense.
Yeah, none of our kids are going to hang their heads. We're beyond that. Our program, I think, is beyond that. You just don't see that of our kids. You saw them drive down and score and tighten the game up, and we came right back and answered. I think we've kind of gotten there a little bit where our kids believe they're going to win. They believe in each other, and they play their tails off. When you watch high school football, I watch and see how hard kids play. Our kids play incredibly hard. DJ, he had the fumble, but really he had a forearm on the ground. That was a tough call for the officials. But he's got a forearm on the ground, but it was kind of just amongst the pile and all that stuff. So it's tough when you're falling kind of head over like that. And you got the ball in one hand, you put them down. It just is what it is.
Yeah. How would you grade out your offensive line's performance from Friday? They like you mentioned, Justin or Kyle Larson was banged up and still out there moving kids around.
I think they had a real tough assignment. I think Jones is incredibly quick back there, so they really are aggressive. They run fast to the football. They get downhill. So I think it was a tough assignment for our offensive line. They're not big, stodgy kids. And our kids, we rush for 2 1/4 or something like that. That's a great night running the football. I think we're physical at the point of attack. For the most part, we neutralized 54. He had a couple of plays there, but we got a hat on him. Jones really thrived on negative plays throughout the year, and we limited the number of negative plays that they were able to get.
Right. All right. We'll be right back to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network.
Need an attorney who specializes in personal injury and criminal law? Alan David Tucker. He fights for the rights of the injured and accused, located next to the waterfront at 9 St. Andrews Court. Since 1982, Alan David Tucker has been practicing law in the Golden Isles and helped thousands of people just like you solve their legal problems. Give Alan David Tucker a call. Proud supporter of Glynn Academy Athletics, 912-267-7123, and let's go Terrors. Looking to make your life more fun? Then check out GCW Karts. With top-of-the-line karts like Easy Go, Bad Boy, and Cushman, you can cruise the island or just around the neighborhood in style. Need to rent a kart? GCW Rental rents karts for long or short-term use, and they make it easy by delivering your kart to you and picking it up when you're finished. So remember, for brands like Easy Go, Bad Boy, and Cushman, visit GCW Karts in Brunswick at the corner of Cypress Mill Road and the Spur, or call 912-434-4601. You've walked your last mile. Boyd's Transmissions will get you riding with a smile. Boyd's Transmissions is your hometown stop for any and all transmission work and much more. Boyd's Transmission has been locally owned and operated for over 30 years right here in Glynn County. Come check us out at 3123 Norwich, right across from the National Guard Armory, 912-264-6768, or find us on Facebook and go Terrors. It's hot and keeping your pool running is essential right now. ASP is your hometown pool care and maintenance neighbors. Marcus and the professionals at ASP will have your pool looking and running like a dream to help you beat the heat. 912-230-5777 or online at www.stsimonsgapoolservice.com or find ASP on Facebook. ASP is a proud supporter of Glynn Academy Athletics. Let's go Terrors!
Welcome back to the Glynn Academy Red Terror Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. This is Drayton Hogarth on location at Marshside Grill. This segment is brought to you by Boyd's Transmissions, ASP Pools, and by Alan David Tucker. And Coach, just to finish up the offensive performance from the game, other than DJ, who had the huge game, and you mentioned Garrison and Kendall, who were some other offensive performers that stood out to you?
Well, I think, it's tough to pick a kid. I think our kids just played really well all the way around. Obviously, I think Garrison played really tough. He ran the ball real hard, broke some tackles, and got some yards after contact. I mean, I would say probably over half his yards came after contact. Brandon Jernigan's 2 catches were big catches, and everybody saw what he can do, and we're going to work and get he and Morris Jimmy the football a little more moving forward. But our kids blocked well on the perimeter. I think Ryan Johnston did a nice job kind of getting in there and just blocking guys, and that doesn't show up on stat sheets, but that wins football games. Poppy Thomas, same thing. Their safety had a ton of tackles coming down, and our wide receivers really got a hat on him and really negated his ability to come in and make a lot of big hits.
Right. Well, up next for Glynn Academy will be the Dalton Catamounts of Coach Matt Land. They're the top seed from Region 7-5A. What have you seen from Dalton so far?
Dalton's a big physical football team. They're not as athletic at the skill positions as Jones County, but they're athletic enough. I mean, they have some guys who can run. I think they do all the little things very, very well. There's a reason they had a great season last year and came back and repeated as region champs. Is their ability to do all the little things. They don't really have a weakness. And they remind me of the teams I used to coach at Walton High School. Big, strong, very fundamentally sound.
Right. And they kind of have a history of having a winning program up there, too. Looks like maybe 8 of the last 10 years or so they've been in the playoffs. Does that having that kind of history kind of builds a program?
I'm not a history major, and it does. And I mean, guys I believe history comes with coaches and coaching staffs. Guys who have great coaching staff. Coach Land he's a really good football coach. I've met him a couple times. I know he's a really good football coach. I believe that history is great and fine and dandy and all that stuff, but they got a football team right now, and that's what matters. We have a good team. They have a good team. It'll be a tough game for them.
Right. What style of offense are they running at you?
They're a true pro style offense, so you'll see them getting 2 tight ends. They want to kind of get in there and cram it downhill. They'll also kind of get in some 11 personnel. There's 11 personnel, 1 back, 1 tight end, and do some spread concepts, some fly sweeps, throw some balls, a lot of the same passing concepts that we do. They do some things. They don't do a whole lot of things. I mean, you don't fill up pages of notebooks with their plays, but with the things they do very, very well.
Right. So even though they're pro style, they seem to be kind of run heavy because they had the region's leading rusher and Drake McGowan. Have you seen him on film so far and anything stood out?
Yeah, he's very good. He looks like he's about Jeremiah's size, and maybe a couple of steps faster. So he's a really good back. He gets downhill. You'll see early in games where he just kind of crams in there. He gets 3 yards and 4 yards and 3 yards and 4 yards. And late in the games, all those body blows starts to take a toll on somebody, and those plays are 10, 12, 15 yards. They're a big physical football team. They're built offensively a lot like an Alabama or an LSU. They want to get in there and cram it in there and be physical and challenge it.
Right. This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. How about on the defensive side of the ball? What are we looking at there?
They're a 4-2 team, which means they're going to try to keep 8 in the box against us. Their 2 inside linebackers are very good players. They really are. They're very fundamentally sound. They don't get out of position on the football very well. They fit on it real nicely. Their defensive line gets hands on the offensive line and does a great job of squeezing guys down and spilling plays. They tackle well in the secondary. You don't see them missing a lot of tackles. So, there's a reason they're winning up there. Their coach has done a great job coaching their kids.
Mm-hmm. How would you compare them? You mentioned Jones's speed. How do you compare them speed-wise to Jones?
Oh, I'm not sure anybody's as fast as Jones, I'll be honest with you. So, I think that's an unfair advantage. But I think they're fast enough in the spots where they have to be fast to be really good. And you don't need 15 burners. You need a guy who can score from anywhere and a guy who can cover a guy who can score from anywhere and have decent foot speed everywhere. And that's what they have. They have great offensive line play, great defensive line play. Their front seven or their front eight is very good on the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm. Any other players that jumped out to you watching film?
I think, like I said, their linebackers I think are very good. Their defensive line, it's a good group. Their offense, they got some big kids on the offensive line. They're big guys built like Coke boxes over there. There's some big kids. We're going to have to play well up front, keep our pad level low.
Right. Anything to learn from 3 of the 4 seeds from Glynn Academy's region winning their games and advancing in the state playoffs?
If people, the region was a good region. Anybody who didn't know that, they were, they were fooling themselves. I think it shows. Obviously, we beat Region 2. Everybody thought that was the high and mighty over there. They got one through. I know this. Coffee and Ware were really, really good football teams. Mm-hmm. I thought Effingham and South Effingham were good football teams. I think there were 5 really, really good football teams in this region. Moving forward, I think that competition that we played with those guys and playing in Wayne County and Camden County really helps us moving forward with all the teams that we're going to go out and play.
Mm-hmm. And we mentioned some players getting retaped and things like that. How's the overall health of the team coming into Friday?
You play a big game like that, you're going to have some guys with some bumps and bruises. I think probably the most worrisome guy would be Kyle Larson. He had a pretty bad ankle sprain, but he's healing. I think by Friday. I hope by Friday he'll be ready to go.
Right.
But we've got a couple other guys with some boo-boos here and there. Garrison's nursing a shoulder injury. DJ's got a bicep that's sore. You just kind of get those things this time of year. So
right.
All in all, it's I think right now nothing that Advil can't cure.
Dalton is just about as far of a trip for Glynn Academy as you can get. What are your travel plans for the game coming up Friday?
Star Wars trilogy. Just gonna throw it on, watch all 3. No, we're going to go up. We're going to take half the team up on Thursday to Atlanta. We'll take basically the 2 deep up Thursday afternoon or Thursday morning. We'll drive to Atlanta. We're going to work out, do our normal Thursday workout at Walton High School, where I used to coach. So we're going to practice there, and I believe we're going to have dinner at FCA of Cobb County. I believe is going to feed us on Thursday night. And so we'll be fed, and then we're going to go downtown. We're going to actually bus back downtown. We're going to stay downtown by Centennial Park. And a lot of our kids have never been out, never seen a big city like that. So we're going to get back in. We'll kind of take them downtown to walk around a little bit down in Atlanta. Wake up on Friday morning. We're going to go to the aquarium down there because we've got to pass the day away. You don't want them being stir crazy. So we're going to go down and pass the day away and let them go through the aquarium. And once that's over with, we're going to have a nice picnic down there at Centennial Park, get on the buses, and at 1 o'clock we're going to head up to Dalton. We'll get up there in time for pregame dinner and just get back to our normal routine.
Awesome. That sounds great, man. And also for the fans, do you know of any buses heading up for the fans up to Dalton?
Yeah, I believe that we're going to have at least 2 Spirit buses, and you probably can contact Coach Parker at the school, and we'll have some information on how they get on one of those things. Hopefully we'll have to get some more. We'd like to. There's going to be a lot of red in the stadium, so when we roll up there, it's going to be extra red. So we can blanket the place.
Right. The Catamounts are red and white also, I think. So, well, that sounds great, Coach. Best of luck this week. Bring home another victory for the Red Terrors, and that is it. Signing off. Thank you for joining us from the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Come out to Marshside Grill and join us every Sunday night at 6:30 for the Rocky Hidalgo Show. This is Drayton Hogarth signing off.